Officials in Florida are looking to punish a theater for holding an all-ages drag show. So now, last year, the Orlando Plaza's Live Theater held something called a Drag Queen Christmas. Okay, what's the issue? Christmas is fine. Drag queens, fine. What's the issue? What's the problem? That happens to make Ron DeSantis and his government in Florida filled with right-wingers. I don't know. Maybe they get a funny feeling from watching drag shows. And maybe they don't like that funny feeling. I don't know what it is. But they want to shut down all the drag shows. They want to call the people that are involved groomers and pedophiles. So, and even apparently they want to send undercover agents to spy on these events, which is what they did in this case. In fact, the government decided to cover undercover agents, paid to have them sit and watch a drag show to make sure, that there's no lewd behavior. Oh no, we got to watch it. We got to protect the children, you see. So instead of going after actual crimes, undercover Florida agents went to drag shows. Well, hopefully they had a good time and enjoyed what they saw. I hear drag shows are fun. But again, they go in, and what did they find? Well, nothing. At least nothing bad. The agents recorded what the Miami Herald described as campy skits, such as, I love this, screwed off the red-nippled mandeer. That's funny. I love it. I love it. But wait, even with that name, turns out there was no
sexual anarchy.
So don't worry. In fact, they acknowledged that they found no lewd acts. They did not witness any lewd acts such as exposure of genital organs, while adding that the performers had no physical contact while performing to the rhythm of the music with any of the patrons, which included 3 underage children at the event, although all of them were accompanied by adults. Nonetheless, Florida says, oh no, the drag queens dangerous. The drag, it's hurting the children's. You know what's funny? People my age, we grew up with things like Looney Tunes, okay? Where Bugs Bunny was literally in drag like almost every week, dressing up. I mean, come on. There's literally drag everywhere in media. Now it's suddenly a problem? No, it's not a problem. And by the way, that's a cartoon for children, okay? What's going on here with drag shows is nothing different. Again, no lewd acts, no pedophilia, nothing like that. It's exactly what you'd expect. See, here's the thing. Drag is not inherently sexual. It never has been. It could be, sure, just like any dance could be. But if you're doing an all ages drag event, then no, you're not going to involve those inherently sexual, overtones. This is a performance. Drag is a performance. It is art and entertainment. That's it. That's it. But see, under the DeSantis regime, it doesn't matter if you've done nothing wrong, if there's nothing lewd. Just the fact that drag queens were present, well, obviously you must be punished. You must be driven out of business. And that's what the Florida, DeSantis administration is trying to do right now. The Florida Department of Business and Professional Regulation is attempting to strip the Plaza Live of its liquor license, which the Herald notes would all but certainly put it out of business. So, look, they're using the power of government to intentionally cause a business harm for doing something, hosting an event that broke no laws. There were no decency laws that were broken. It harmed no one. And DeSantis and his lackeys are saying, too bad. We're going to pull your liquor license anyway. We're going to put you literally out of business. Now, there is a word for that, isn't there? What is that word? Or phrase. Culture, something culture. Oh, right, it's cancel culture. That's what it is. Cancel culture. But again, it's worse than just cancel culture because you're trying to effectively destroy a business for political reasons, for the culture wars. This is not the free market making a decision. Because, I mean, generally that's what cancel or slash consequence culture is. Somebody brings up an issue. Hey, this company is doing XYZ, or, you know, we don't like what they're doing. So what we're going to do is we're just not going to buy the product. And we're going to tell everyone, you know, that this is the reason why we shouldn't buy the product or do business or criticize this person for their political views. Okay, that's one thing. And then people can, using the free market, make their own decision whether or not they want to buy those products from that certain company or do business or frequent their establishments. That's fine. That, again, that's just literally capitalism, guys. This is different, though. This is a government saying, we're going to take away something that makes you, you know, your business work. Even though you didn't break any laws, it doesn't matter. We don't like what you did. So we're going to take away, for political reasons, your license. And of course, as a result, they're going to kill jobs, obviously. And so this is not the free market. There is no free market there. Whatever happened when it comes to freedom? Well, it turns out they never believed in freedom. Again, political retaliation, that's all this is. It is a government acting like the morality police. Something that you would see in countries like Iran, authoritarian countries. That said, luckily for now, they don't actually have the power to throw people in prison for it, for what they consider to be immoral behavior. But then again, knowing Florida, they would probably try to pass something along those lines. Now, here's the thing, right? This is ultimately what Republicans are focused on, at least in Florida. Drag bans, trans athlete bans, attacking the LGBTQ community, attacking teachers, accusing them of being groomers and pedophiles. They're doing all that culture war stuff. But what are they doing for the average working person in Florida? Can you answer that? Can they answer that at all? Republicans? What is Ron DeSantis doing for the average working person to make their life better? I would posit that they're doing nothing for that. Because it's easier and more profitable for these Republican politicians to force morality on everyone else through these kinds of bans than it is to raise wages, protect workers, or ensure that people's material conditions are met. And you know why it's more profitable for them? Well, because their donors are going to be affected by things like higher wages, more worker protections, and increased material conditions for average working people. So they have a monetary incentive to not solve any of those problems, not solve any of the problems of, lack of affordable housing, for example, in the big cities, Miami area. And by the way, of course, there is lack of affordable housing in a lot of the big cities, California, New York, Portland, places like that. So that's not just specifically a Republican problem, but what Republicans are doing is they're not even, pretending to address those problems. They're just full on culture wars. Culture, drag this, groomer that. That's all they have. And that's all, and it's very, very clear watching what they do that this is all they have. Now, let me give you one quote here. This is from Carlos Guillermo Smith, who is a former Democratic state lawmaker who works with an LGBTQ advocacy organization called Equality Florida. Here's what he told the Miami Herald. Quote, "It's just more evidence that all of this is contrived. It's politically motivated. And it's not about protecting children. It's part of an ongoing effort to marginalize LGBT people and their allies, because that's a vehicle that will get him to the GOP nomination." To that I say, yes! It's true. All of these attacks on the LGBTQ community, it's all politics. Using the culture war to help their own, political aspirations and to protect their donors at the same time. That's all it is, and all it ever was. And unfortunately, if they're allowed to get away with this, innocent businesses in Florida that are being inclusive and are breaking no laws, doing no crimes, are getting punished anyway. This should be something that every Republican should be against. But unsurprisingly, either most of them don't know that this is happening, or worse, they might agree.